So in chapter 4, we looked at systems of equations. So let's look at some applications, some real life type of problems. So here they give us a scenario, and they don't actually want us to set up the system and solve it. They just want us to see which of these choices could be a solution to our system. It says 2 computer disks and 3 notebooks would cost us $22. But if we got 5 computer disks and 4 notebooks, it would cost us $48. So they want us to see which of these combinations would work for both of these. So if it's the first one, let's try A. If we have 2 computer disks and each is $2, 2 times $2 would be $4. If a notebook is $8 and we get 3 of those, 3 times 8, that would be $24. Well, that's $28 that we just spent. We're told that if we get 2 disks and 3 notebooks, we only spend $22. So that always can't be it. So let's try B. So 8 computer disks, or $8 per computer disk. We get 2 of those. We have $8 twice, which is $16. We have 3 notebooks for $2 a piece, so 3 $2 notebooks. So that would be $6. That does total $22. So this combination works for the first purchase, but we also have to see if it worked for the second purchase. Remember, in a system, we have 2 different equations, and our solution has to work for both of them. So in the second scenario, we have 5 computer disks. So 5 $8 computer disks. Oops. 5 $8 computer disks would give us a total of $40, and 4 notebooks. So 4 times the $2 per notebook, that would be $8 for a total of $48. So that's correct. We came up with $22 for 2 of these and 3 of those. We came up with $48 when we had 5 of these and 4 of those. So that's the correct combination. Now the other problems, we do have to set up our system of equations and solve it. So here we have 2 numbers. They have a total of 51 and a difference of 31. But we don't know either number, so I'm going to call one number x and the other number y. Total means to add together. So when we add these numbers together, we get 51. Difference means subtract. So when we take one and subtract the other, we get 31. So this is our system of equations. So let's just do the elimination method to solve this system, because notice if we add these equations together, x plus x is 2x, y minus y cancels, and we get 82 on the other side. If we divide both sides by 2, we get that x is 41. So one number is 41. To get the other number, plug that back into either equation. So I'm going to plug it into the top one. We know that 41 plus y has to make 51. So if we subtract 41 from both sides, we get that y is 10. So the larger number is 41, the smaller number is 10. Notice when we add those, they make 51. When we subtract those, they make 31. So that is the correct solution there. This problem, we have 2 numbers. We have a first number and we have a second number. So let's translate these sentences. first number plus twice the second number is 2. Twice the first number plus the second number is 31. Twice the first number plus the second totals 31. So we want to find out what the numbers are. We could use either method. We could use elimination or substitution. So let's do substitution this time. Let's take the first equation and solve for x. So if we're going to solve it for x, we will get rid of 2y. It's a term, so the opposite of a positive would be to subtract 2y. So we get the x is, these would cancel, and that will leave us 2 minus 2y. Now that we have isolated x, we plug that into the other equation. So in the other equation, where there's an x, we're going to put a parenthesis, a set of parentheses where the x is. And in place of x, we're going to put 2 minus 2y. 2 times x, x is that. So a number in front of a parenthesis is distributed, so 2 times 2. 2 times negative 2y. Notice how our equation has one variable, so we can solve it. Negative 4 plus 1 would make minus 3y. We need to put the y term by itself, so to get rid of this term, we subtract 4 from both sides. 31 minus 4 is 27. And then divide both sides by negative 3. And then we get y is negative 9. Y is negative 9. Once we get y, we can go back to the equation that has x by itself. We could go back to any of the equations that have an x, but I like to use the one that has x by itself. Where there's a y, we're going to change it to the value we got. We got negative 9. So x is 2 minus 2 times minus 9. Negative times negative is positive. Why did we do that versus doing 2 minus 2? Because we multiply before we subtract. I have to do our order of operations. So 2 plus 18 is 20. That's our x, and that's our y. So the first number, they ask us, the first number is 20. The second number is negative 9. One of the biggest parts here is translating our equation into algebraic symbols so that we can use our methods to solve our system of equations. All right, so here's an interesting problem. We have 2 types of stock. We have fast food stock. We have 39 fast food stocks. And we have toy stocks. We have 71 of those. Make the notes. Fast food. We have 39. Toys. We have 71 shares. Now that's just how many we have. That's not their value. We're actually looking for the price of each stock. We want to know how much it costs. So if each stock, let's say each fast food stock was $1, then the dollar amount of fast food stock 39 times $39. That's how much our investment would be worth. If our fast food shares were worth $10 a piece, if we had a $10 share, if one share is $10 and we have 39 of them, then we would have a value of $390 in fast food shares. And we could do the same thing for toy shares. So let's let x be of 1 fast food share, and let's let Y be the cost of one toy share. So we have a couple statements about our shares. At the close of the market, the two stocks were a combined value of $15.98. So if we take the value of one fast food share and multiply it by 39, that tells us how much money we have in of the fast food shares. If we take the number of shares times the cost of a toy share, so let's say a toy share was $5 and we have 71 of them, so $5 71 times, that would tell us the value of all of our toy shares. So this is the value of our toy share. So when we add up how much money we have in fast food shares and how much we have in toy shares, that is $1,598. So the cost of a share, 39 times, is how much we have in fast food. The cost of a share, 71 times, is how much we have in toy shares. Plus 71y equals 1598. So that's one thing they give us. The next thing they say is that the price of fast food is 17 more than the price of toys. So for one share, the cost of fast food is 17 more than the cost of toys. So the cost of fast food is X. Y is, or we could say is, so equals 17 more than the cost of a toy stock. The cost of a toy stock is Y. 17 more would be plus 17. So if we know the cost of a toy stock, add 17 to it, and that's the cost for each fast food stock. Notice that's per share. That's not total value. That's just for one share. The cost of one share of the toys plus 17 is the cost of one share of fast food stock. So that gives us our second equation. We can do either method, but notice we have it solved for x. So we can use substitution. We already have x isolated, so we're going to plug that into the other equation in place of x. So where there's an x, we're going to put parentheses. Everything else is going to stay the same. We're going to change x to y plus 17. So if we distribute, we have 39y, so 39y. Let's see, 39 times 17. 9 times 7 is 63. 7 times 3 is 21, so 27. 1 times 9, 1 times 3. So we get 663 plus 71y. Now we need to combine like terms on the left, and we have to be careful how we do that. We don't do the opposite here and here. These are on the same side, so we're not moving it off of one side and putting it on the other. We're just putting like things together. So we have 39, and then in a moment we get 71 more. So 39 plus 71. This is 10, carry our 1, that's 10, 11. So we have a total of 110 Y's on the left. We also have 663. So if we subtract 663 from both sides, we get 110Y equals 1598 minus 663. For time's sake, let's use a calculator for that. I'm not going to give you one with numbers like this that you will need to use a calculator for on your test. And then to get Y, divide both sides by 110. So that would be 8.5, which is, this is the cost of one share of toys, so $8.50. So that's how much a toy share costs. Remember, X is Y plus 17, so if we know the value of Y, take that, plus 17, so we would get that X is 8.5 plus 17, that's 25.5, or $25.50. So that one was a little messier because of the complexity of our systems of equations. But what we have to recognize is what is X and what is Y. X is the cost of one share of fast food stock. Y is the cost of one toy stock. So if we take the number we have times the value of each one, that'll give us the total amount we have invested in that stock. When we add those together, that gives us our total amount we have in stock. And then we got our other equations. The value of fast food is $17 more than the value of toys. All right. Let's do one or two more. So this couple, or these people, have a pottery stand. They sold some of their pottery at the original price of $11.50 each. But later they decreased the price by $2. So let's just make some notes. So the original price, $11.50, or we could call that 11.5 in our equations. Our new price, if we decrease our price by $2, if it started out at $11.50, if we go down to, we would be at $9.50, or we could call that 9.5. So they say if they sold 92 pieces and took in $928, find how many they sold at the original price and how many they sold at the reduced price. Now, we need to ask ourselves, what are our two unknowns? What we don't know is how many they sold at the original price and how many they sold at the reduced price. So let's let the number sold at the original price, the number sold of the original price, and let Y be the number sold at the reduced price. So what do we know? We know that they have 92 pieces. They sold 92 pieces. So if we take how many they sold at the original price with how many they sold at the new price, that was a total of 92 pieces. So this is not a cost amount, this is how many items. So the number of items of these plus the number of items of those gives us a total of 92 pieces. Now the amount of money collected was $928. Well, if the original price was $11.50 for one item, well, for each item we sold, we got $11.50. So if we sold one, we got $11.50. If we sold two, we got twice that. If we sold three, we got three times that. We don't know how many we sold. We're just going to call that the number we sold at that price X. So the price times how many we sold, that gives us the income from let's say this, the income at the original price. The income at original price. But then we can do the same thing at the reduced price. At the reduced price, one costs $9.50. Two would cost twice that. 10 would cost this times 10. 20 would cost 20 times this. We don't know how many, so we take the cost times the amount we have, and that'll give us the income at the new cost. So we're told that our total income is $928. So when we take how much money we made at the original price plus how much money we got at the new price, that's a total of $928. A total of $928. Now we just need to solve our system of equations. So we can solve this using whichever method we want. Let's just do substitution here. So let's solve this equation for y. If we're going to solve it for y, we would subtract x from both sides. So if we do that, those will cancel because x minus x is 0. That'll give us y equals 92 minus x. So the other equation will replace y with that expression. So 11.5x plus 9.5 times whatever y is gives us 928. Well, y is that whole thing, 92 minus x. So we have an 11.5x. We have 9.5 times 92. For time's sake, let's just use our calculator. And that would be 874. 9.5 times minus x, positive times negative is negative. So now that we've cleared parentheses, we want to combine like terms. And again, we're not doing opposites. We're not adding 9.5 here and here. Since they are on the same side, we just collect them. 11.5x is here. Later, we take away 9.5. So that gives us 2 x's. We also have 874 equals 928. So we'll take away 874 on both sides so that 874 minus 874 cancels. That'll leave us, 928 minus 874, which is 54. Divide both sides by 2, and we would get that x is 27. Now that we know x, we can go back into any equation that has x. I like to go into that one. We know y is 92 minus the x value. Well, if the x value is 27, then y is 92 minus 27, and that's 65. So if we forgot what those stand for, we can go back and see that x, the items we sold at the original price, comes out to be 7 items. When we lowered the price, it was 65 items that were sold. So the key here is converting our scenario into equations using variables and constants. So let's do one more. This has a little bit of geometry, and let's make a comment or two. So these lines are parallel. N and M are parallel lines. A couple of things we know is that if we have a line that cuts through parallel lines, then these angles are alternate interior. Alternate interior angles are congruent, meaning that the measure of the angle y minus 42 is congruent to x. Those are of the same value. Also notice that this angle and this angle form a straight angle. Notice if we go from here to here, that's a straight angle if we consider that to be the vertex. And a straight angle is 180 degrees. So if we take this angle plus the measure of this angle, those will total 180. So alternate interior angles, this one and this one are equal or congruent. These two add up to 180. Since we have this solved for x, let's use substitution. So in the other equation where we have an x, we'll replace it. So instead of putting an x here, x is also known as y minus 42. So if we combine like terms, we have a y and another y, so we have two y's on the left. Notice this is adding, so we're not distributing anything here. We're just combining things that are alike. We have a y, another y, and a minus 42 on the left, hence 2y minus 42. To get the 42 to the other side, it's a term, so we would add it to both sides so that those cancel. That will give us 222. If we want to get y by itself, we divide by 2, and these would cancel, and we would get 111 for y. 111 for y. We can go back into either equation to find x. Well, x is y minus 42. So 111 minus 42, and that comes out to 69 degrees. So this is 69 degrees here. That would also be 69. Y, which is 111, minus 42 is 69. This is 111.